Hey everybody, it's Rockula, and welcome back to Rockula Retrospective. This is pretty much officially the very first Walking Dead review that I'm going to do for Season 6, and that is going to be the Season 6 preview trailer. Now, if you've been watching The Walking Dead or you've watched my reviews, you know you can't trust these people. They're never going to give you a trailer that's going to tell you the truth. It's always going to be something different. Misdirection, quotes removed from context, everything removed from context and put together to make you think something's going to happen, but you know that it's not going to happen that way. It's going to happen different ways. So let's talk about Season 6 trailer, and it starts out with Rick running down the road and a bunch of dialogue. It's all taken out of context. You can't trust anything on that first part. You have a girl that arrives, and at first I thought it was Enid, but it looks like it's somebody that survived from the outside. Is she part of the wolves? Is she infiltrating with the wolves, or is she like an innocent person? Gonna have a herd. That's one thing for sure, because, you know, you got Rick shooting up in the air and there's all those zombies walkers walking past. So there's gonna be a herd. Next, they're insinuating that there's going to be a guy that is an antagonist for Rick. And I'm guessing it's because I'm guessing Nicholas is not going to be an antagonist against Rick's group after, Glenn pretty much showed him the way, showed him the light. So I think after that, Nicholas is not going to be as big of a problem as this new douchebag. Jesse looks like she's siding with Rick, of course. But I can't remember if that's her son or not, but it looks like he's going to be on the dissenting side. And they're also suggesting a rift between Rick and Daryl, which I don't think is going to happen either. So the big intended potential conflict is going to be Rick versus Morgan, and I'm telling you, it ain't going to happen. There may be some small dissensions here and there, and they may butt heads. He may be like, Dale, but not irritating, Dale was the guy that always had to say, eh. But I think Morgan is going to be like, hey, so it's one of those things that he won't be as irritating as Dale, but he's going to be the new dissenter, which everybody keeps talking about the moral compass of the group. That's Glenn and Maggie, but mostly Glenn. Everybody's like, oh, who's going to come in and be the moral compass? It's always been Glenn, because it's always been Glenn who's been the most well-rounded in his approach to things. But, speaking of Glenn and Maggie are talking about, you should keep an eye on her, everybody's afraid. But then they show Carol. There's two things that could be happening. One, they are misdirecting again about Carol because, they do that. Or two, Carol has gone too far into becoming lying Carol. The facade that Carol puts up, I think, has potential to turn her into a liability because she's going to start not understanding the difference between reality and manipulation. But, I've been saying that all along. They want us to think it's Glenn versus Carol, but it's not going to be. But Deanna, now here's the thing about Deanna. I think that Deanna is going to end up being behind Rick. She makes that statement, we're all going to trust him and stuff. But Morgan, when he said, well, for instance, let's talk about this thing with Morgan. Morgan says, I can stop him. And I don't think it's going to be, I can stop Rick and, kill him or take him out of his leadership role. It's probably something where Rick was going to go stomping off and gonna go rescue somebody or go do something by himself and do something too dangerous. And I think that it's Morgan saying, I can stop him from doing something irrational. So we got Morgan also, it looks like he's outside and he's telling somebody, if you keep living this life, you're gonna die. If you're gonna be this way, get the hell out of here. I don't think that it is Rick or any of our group. Two things I think it could be: either one of the dissenters who's causing problems, and Morgan's like, "Hey man, you're gonna get killed for this, so you need to get out." Or two, it's either one of the wolves that I keep hearing that the wolves are gonna infiltrate Alexandria. So yeah, that's. By the way, I forgot to tell you about my position. I don't read the comic books. I don't read the spoilers. I'm just like most of you. I like to keep myself in the dark, and I like to figure it out myself, and I also like it when they prove me wrong. But yeah, sorry about that. I should have said that at the beginning of the video, but that's where I'm coming from. Now we come to Rick's speech while he's holding the gun, and towards the end of the speech, they show Morgan on this, just Morgan's head, and then they show Rick pointing a gun and saying, "Who do you think you're dealing with?" He's not pointing a gun at Morgan's head. He's pointing a gun at somebody else's head. More than likely, once again, that douchebag dissenter guy. So, I just figured out he reminds me of like when Paul Giamatti plays people that you're supposed to hate, like Pig Virus in the Howard Stern show. This guy, they picked him on purpose to be irritating looking. So I think that dissenting guy is going to be the one that Rick is going to hold the gun to the guy's head. Now you come up and Daryl's been captured. I don't think Daryl being captured is anything big. He gets captured all the time and he gets out of it. So I don't think there's going to be any issue. I think that the people that captured him are either wolves or just people that, survivors or something. So it's kind of anticlimactic on that one. They should have ended on the thing with Rick and the gun, but I'm not the AMC and I don't make billions of dollars. So, all right, that's my assessment of the trailer of The Walking Dead Season 6. I watched Fear the Walking Dead's trailer and there wasn't enough to talk about. I mean, it just looks like it's going to be cool, I'm going to start reviewing it. I'm for sure going to do reactions to it. And we'll see how interested I get in it. It may be great. It may suck. Who knows? Can't promise anything on that, but I guarantee you I will be doing Season 6 of The Walking Dead. Some other developments. One, I just put together a Facebook group called The Dead Tubers. And that is going to be people who review The Walking Dead and people who watch people that review The Walking Dead. This will be a place for you to come and say, "Hey, did you see this person's review?" And they brought up a really interesting point. And it'll be a community to where instead of just people talking about the stuff that's in every other single Walking Dead community on Facebook, I want it to really be a free exchange of ideas of people who are watching videos on YouTubes and reviews. So it's going to be review-centric. And I already have my first member who has joined and who is my biggest bestie Walking Dead buddy, and that is Jessica, who runs the It's Hippie Chip channel and Two Dead Girls. And they've been so great to me. So it's great that they're going to be the first Dead Tuber partners. All right, well, look for everything coming up in the future. Like I said, Fear the Walking Dead, and then The Walking Dead. Also, go and check out the Rockula update. I'm not going to take up too much time here doing the Rockula update for you, but tons and tons and tons and tons of great things are on the horizon. And I believe that 2015 is going to be a great year. So, let's end it here, and I'll see you soon for Fear of the Walking Dead. I'm Rockula, and this is Rockula Retrospective.